Hi, hello. It is Saturday the 30th when I am filming this, but for you, you are watching it on the 2nd of February, which, if you didn't know, is in fact my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I wanted to put out something like fun and chatty. That's literally what it says in my video schedule. It's something fun and chatty, birthday-esque. So I guess that's what I'm doing today. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I thought, like, I kind of want to do some ukulele stuff, I kind of want to talk about some sewing stuff, I kind of just want to do something chatty. How do I combine all of these things? So I have to thank ASHA for my solution to this problem, because she remembered that I did a chatty video end of the year last year. I can't remember what it was, but where I rearranged my bookshelves. So I did a thing, I did the footage of it, and then I sort of had a little chatty moment with you, and I thought I could do that again because that would be nice, and then I could also get some work done today, and I feel like it'll make the edit simpler because each thing will be like its own lump. So I'm going to try and do 26 distinct thought pieces, bites of Judith's brain, niblets of something, because I am turning 26 on Tuesday when you are watching this. Hopefully that makes sense. As you can see, I'm currently rocking like full wet hair. I'm in editing hag mode normally on a Saturday, so the fact that I've put blush on, you should be impressed. It's all for you. It's my gift to you on my birthday. So I'm gonna continue editing the vlog. That's my next job thing that I need to do, and then I will be back with like my first thought or feeling or something to talk about, hopefully. A little bit changed. Yeah, that's better, I think. I think that's better. I'm sorry if the audio was terrible in that first clip. I think I had my camera on the wrong setting, because despite having the camera for over a year, I still don't use most of the things it does. I have no real structure for this video. I think it's just going to be a mess. I'm so sorry to the person editing it, which is me. But I did just get some book mail, so let's start with that, shall we? Number 1. A book in the post. I have no idea how I'm going to do the numbers. I just assume I'm going to edit them in. It should be fine. I got my copy of The Mask Falling. I ordered this totally on a whim. Obviously I had a digital review copy of this, so I didn't need to buy it to read it. After my review went up, I was like, I'm probably gonna wait till it comes out in paperback because I have mine order in paperback, so I'm not fussed about them matching. And then I was on Twitter, I think, and it was kind of like, well, there's still some signed Waterstones copies available, and I had some money left over from Christmas, and I just thought, I really like this cover. I like the bumblebees. It's signed, and in these days of pandemic where authors aren't getting the sales from people just wandering into bookshops, I thought I would buy it. We have a little signed bookplate with B on. It's cute. Is there actually room for this on the shelf? We'll work that out when I'm not wearing a mic. That should be fine. But yeah, happy Bookmail Day to me. This feels just like a really unstructured vlog. And all my vlogs are unstructured, so if this is extra unstructured, I don't know what I'm doing. I was going to talk to you about tea. I am drinking tea now. I've had my coffees for the morning, but this is Bonfire Toffee tea, which I think I've probably talked about before, but hey, if you're new here, you might not know. I am utterly obsessed with this tea. It is from Bird & Blend. They're not sponsoring this video, in case it wasn't clear. Nobody's sponsoring this mess. It is the nicest tea. It is so, like, quiet. It's like sweet, but not sweetened. And it tastes like autumn to me, and I really, really enjoy it. And I may or may not have ordered a ridiculous quantity of it in their Boxing Day sale. Whoops. No, I really got into loose leaf tea last year, over the last year. It's one of the things that I kind of like treated myself to. This has been my biggest success from that. I've really enjoyed this, but I basically have discovered that I like any tea that kind of also tastes like another food. So this also kind of tastes like toffee apple kind of feeling. And the other one I've really enjoyed is their tea that tastes like chocolate digestives. And I have another one that is like black tea, but it also tastes like a bit like Ferrero Rocher. Essentially, I want tea that tastes like I have also eaten another thing. That's what I've discovered about myself. The other thing that tea drinking this year has really taught me is that I cannot drink tea after 4 p.m. I cannot have anything with caffeine after 4 p.m. because I will just not sleep. So yeah, this is my tea recommendation for life because it's the best one and I really, really enjoy it. But if you buy tea from other places, let me know. I would like to sample all of the teas. Right, that's 2 things. The vlog is uploading. I am going to do 15 minutes or so work on editing Winter's Orbit. I'll be back in less than a second for you, but it will take a little bit of time for me. And I might do some ukulele stuff if I can pluck up the courage, we shall see. It is a truth universally acknowledged that the day that you want to film some ukulele stuff, you will have a blocked nose and a bit of a sore throat. That's just the way it is. I'm gonna do some ukulele stuff. I was messaging ASHA and Justine when I was thinking about this video, as you already know. And I was like, I do want to play some ukulele stuff because I've got a lot of stuff I've been working on and some stuff I've never shared, and it's a fun hobby that I enjoy, and it's my birthday so people can indulge me. But also, I don't want to be like that person who's like at the beach with their acoustic guitar. You know, I don't want to be that. So I'm going to include time skips so you can skip the singing parts, because I'm aware that I look like an absolute tit when I sing. So you can skip these. I'm not going to be offended. I thought I would share a few bits and bobs. This first one is one that if you watch my vlogs, you will have already heard some of, because I put it in, I think, reading vlog number 4. Might have been 3. One of the two. And yeah, I'm working on it, and I said, could you guess which book it was inspired by? And it's actually Galaxy in the Ground Within, because I was lying awake in bed, insomniac at I am, and the line, the sky's on fire, so I'll be late. I really liked that idea, and there's a moment in the book, this isn't a spoiler, where one of the characters is talking about they can't communicate across the planet, and they're just flicking their light on and off, and they're like, I assume it means that we're just saying that we're all here and that we're all alive. At least that's what I'm doing it for. And I really love this idea of, you know, I think kind of like Great Gatsby-esque, but, you know, much more wholesome, looking at lights turning on and off. And yeah, it was inspiring, and yeah, so I wrote this, and I'm aware that some of the characters who would in theory be singing such a song would not actually have a concept of music like this. So there's like extra layers of fun to it, but I'm going to sing it for you, and if you haven't read the book yet, it's not going to spoil the book for you. That's all I shall say. I'm going to unclip my mic though, so you're not just hearing weird ukulele sounds the whole time. In fact, let's start a new clip.
There's space between us, yes, it's true, but I'm making my way to you. Please send another letter, love, I'm lonely. The sky's on fire, so I'll be late. Don't you fret, my dear, I'm safe. There's people here, they want to get to know me. Can they know me and all that I've been through? Can they know me to get to know me.
Winter's Orbit is done. It is uploading. Obviously it needs subtitling and stuff, but it is done. Done. I'm very much enjoying individual video reviews. I really like them. I like them a lot more than I like writing individual blog reviews. Between you and I, there are vague plans in the future to slightly retire my old blog, which would be a little bit sad, and I need to look at what I then do about reviews for things that like then need to go on commercial sites and, you know, publishers and working with them and everything. But I'm pondering it because I just feel like I get a lot more out of making a video review. My process for making video reviews is read the book, obviously, and then I script it out. I have a template you've probably noticed if you've watched any of them, but I like to talk about, you know, what's the book about, who's the author, some pros and cons, some comparisons, and some final thoughts. And I like working to that because it keeps it reasonably flexible. I don't have to talk about, you know, every single time I need to talk about the characters. Sometimes you just don't want to. So I do that, I script that out, and then I film it. The writing process is one chance to think it through, and then the filming process is another, because quite often I'll look at my notes and go, I don't really want to talk about that, and I'll twist it, or something else will come to me while I'm filming. So I think you just get a lot more chance to have some thoughts about things, and then sometimes you get even more chances if I then talk about it in a wrap up. So yeah, by the time I'm done, I think I remember a lot more about a book than I remembered when I was just blogging about books, which is pretty nice. And as you will know, I have a memory like a sieve, so being able to remember things about books is quite helpful. It's a good, nice process, which is good because I can't remember when I talked about it, but I talked about wanting to love the process, and I really do. I really enjoy filming them, and that's why I'm going to keep making them, even if they don't perform as well as other things. I'm turning 26 on Tuesday, and I was thinking about this. I was at a friend's birthday party, and they said something like, we're all the same age, we went to school together, like, oh, I'm going to be closer to 30 than I am to 20. And I really don't have this, and I don't mean this in like a, oh, I'm so fancy free, I don't care about aging at all, but I really don't have this like visceral hatred of the idea of growing older, and I think it's because I've always been a bit of an old soul. Maybe that's wishing my life away a little bit, but I really just have always been an old soul, and so I'm like, yeah, I'm closer to 30, cool. That's just something I was thinking about the other day, is that as much as I would never shame someone for being annoyed about getting older, because that's their own business, I just don't have that, and that's nice. I'm glad I don't, because I think that's probably a lot of mental energy spent on something that you really can't control, like the passage of time, not something you can do anything about. I am going to do some sewing, and then I will show you some of my sewing projects, so I shall see you in a little bit. Sewing project update. It is a dress. Yeah, I'm working on this dress. It's like an adaptation. I've done a blouse as well in the same top pattern, but it's an adaptation of a 1860s top pattern, and then I've currently just put a circle skirt in the bottom of it. I have no idea how it's going to look because I haven't got it pinned and ready yet, because currently what I'm doing is I didn't like how short it was because I'm an old lady, so I had to piece a panel onto the bottom to add a couple of inches, and I'm having to hand fell the seam where that is. I'm not really sure what the reason is. I think it's part of me thought it would be a good idea, and now I'm stuck in the realms of hand sewing. Like, I'd say all of the finishing on this has been hand sewing so far, which is ludicrous, and I have the utmost respect for people who make clothes that people buy in shops because they are not paid enough. It is so much work. It's going very well so far. I'm hoping that by the end of today I can like get to a point where I can put it on, and I might have to pin the places where there would have been buttons because I haven't got the brain to do buttons today, I think. But yeah, I am stitching up a storm, and it's going to be very lovely. I will try and take a shot of it before the end of the day that I can insert so that you can see it, not just sort of limp and lustrous. But that's what I'm currently working on. Projects is another thing I wanted to talk about. That can be the seventh thing. So I currently have two big projects, Booktube projects that I'm working on. I have Overbooked and Animorphs, and so I could split these out into two separate things and give myself some extra things. Animorphs first, still enjoying it, still in the groove with it, I think. I'm thinking about doing Animorphs April and maybe even Animorphs August, where every week in April and August I post an Animorphs video. I think I can do it. I think if I have like a couple of days to film and bulk edit them, I could do it, just in the interest of getting the series finished in under 5 years. So stay tuned. I think I'm going to definitely try and do April, and I will do August if I feel like I can. I'm hoping to be able to do it. I just need to read them and film them and, you know, actually do the thing. If I can get 2 Animorphs videos out in April, I'll be happy. Overbooked, how's that going? I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the feedback on the videos so far. I'm liking that they're not too long. I've already talked about wanting to film video reviews for books, and Overbooked is basically that. The thing that I'm struggling with at the moment is when I originally set up the series, I just kind of like wrote down all the books that were on each shelf. And since then I have had a lot of books join my shelves, not all of which, oh, how do I word this? So some of them I will have read before we get to that point on the shelves, and some of which actually need to kind of slot into things that I've already filmed. So it's trying to work out what I film and add in and what I give its own dedicated video review to. So I've done quite a lot of work of putting everything into Notion and like alphabetizing and going, okay, if I want to keep that one needs to go in here. Oh, actually, I've unhauled that book, so I no longer need to do that. It should still work in the sense that I'm not uploading a new series until all of the videos for that series are done. But there will be probably a series 11, which is like a catch-up series. I haven't quite worked out yet. But basically, I'm still really liking doing Overbooked. I have a backlog of videos that I need to film for it, but they're not too difficult to film because it's mostly just reading off notes. But depending on birthday things, I might get myself a teleprompter to make life a little bit easier, so I'm less having to like look down at my notes and memorize what I've said. We shall see. It's going to be fine. I'm going to scooch around here just to give you a slightly different angle. It's still stupidly yellow lighting. Does turning it off do anything? Is it now just going to be like, yeah, that's a little bit too dark, I think. It's fine, you can deal with it. It's a fun video. This next song requires a little bit of context. So, a lot of the music stuff that I write tends to be musical influenced because for a few years while I was at university, I wrote a lot of music for the Oxford University Light Entertainment Society. One of the things that that society and some other people would do is take shows up to the Edinburgh Fringe, and probably 3 or 4 years ago now, we took up a show that a friend of mine had written that is sort of a fantasy musical parody sort of thing, and they asked if I would write the music for it, and I said yes, of course I would love to do that. And we like took the show up and we had like a live band, and it was basically a dream come true and everything I ever wanted. And I thought I would play you a song from that, but it requires some context. So there's an elf character, Lauriel, who is kind of the female lead of the piece, or one of the female leads, and her shtick is that she is stuck in the palace with a dad who does not want to let her out of the palace. And so we had to write this song that my brief was sort of kind of part of your world. There's a million other ones, but the Disney songs, you know, I wanted Venture in the Great Wide Somewhere kind of thing. And so I sort of went, okay, well, every single one of those songs has already been written. How do I write something new? And I decided that instead I would write a reverse psychology version of that. So this song is tentatively titled Lauriel's Dream. We didn't really need to title things, but hopefully it makes sense with that context. And I cannot sing it as beautifully as the person who originally played the role sang, because she sang much higher than I do, but I'm going to give it my best shot and play it for you now.
Father dearest, it's been years since I've been outside, stuck in this palace, cut off from the world. I don't mean to complain, of course it's perfectly fine to be trapped here like a wretched caged bird. I've had all this time to adjust, you've clearly cured my wanderlust, and during I've had time to read about reverse psychology. So don't give me adventure, don't give me the open road. No trials or tests, no battles or quests, I don't want any of those. Did you hear? I don't want to climb mountains or sail in a storm on the sea. I'll wait all alone, never leaving find here in the palace, where life isn't boring or bland. Please, no, no danger, no beautiful stranger to ask me for my hand. No, don't give me adventure, don't give me the open road. No trials or tests, no battles or quests, I don't want any of those. Did you hear? I don't want to climb mountains or sail in a storm on the sea. I'll wait all alone, never leaving home, because that's all that I'm meant to be. I don't want to be the hero, that isn't my heart's desire. I don't want the glory, please don't tell my story when gathered round campfires. Please don't make me into a legend, let me stay silent and small. I'm not asking for more, yes, I'm perfectly sure. I don't want everything, anything at all.
Ahoy, I have reached the point where I'm disillusioned with this entire process, so let's get some energy back in. I'm gonna have another cup of tea in just a moment. The bottom of the dress is pinned. It's all good. Let's bash out some thoughts, some thinky thoughts. What was next on my list? Being a massive introvert. This has come up a fair amount recently. There's been a lot of like, a whole year since we went into lockdown. Is everyone coping? Lockdown has really told me that I am more introverted than I ever thought I could be. I have definitely discovered that I am more of a hermit crab than anyone could ever be. Like, I would be perfectly happy just spending all day every day in this room, and in fact I have. And I really like this room. I like having my own space where I can shut a door, and I'm very, very happy. So that's my whatever 10th thought is I'm a massive introvert, and I am very, very happy about it. If you are an extrovert and you are dealing with this pandemic, I can only apologise. Oh yeah, and I wanted to talk about my new job, which is in fundraising for the same charity that I've worked for coming up for 5 years. It'll be 5 years in the summer. It's a really, really cool new job working under a new head of fundraising. So she knows so many things and she's imparting so much wisdom, and honestly just the chance to really stretch my brain and like learn new things and apply new skills has been really good for my brain. It's almost like we aren't meant to just do the same thing all day every day. I think it was a Tumblr post or a tweet or something about like sometimes you need that moment in where animals are in the zoo and they give them like a fun new thing to play with. We need that as people too, and I for sure needed that. So my fun new thing to play with, my new job, is going very well and I'm very much enjoying it. It is so busy and involves a lot of thought, and I'm really feeling the lack of ability to do more reading on the side. I think my most recent reading vlog probably proves that, but it has been very positive so far. Having a TBR again was the next thing. I find it deeply stressful to have books that I need to read, which is baffling. I think I just got like too cushy about it in November, December. I'm staring at them now and I'm excited to read all of them, and I like having books to read, but physically having them taking up space when they could be on the shelves, it's weirdly stressful. I have very minimal shelf space. I really want to get taller shelves that fully go up to the ceiling, but I don't think it's going to happen while we live here. So I am quite strict about shelf space. The TBR needs to be read down so that I can know what I need to keep. But yeah, I'm enjoying it for the most part. I'm bummed that February's TBR doesn't involve as much reading of that stuff as I kind of want it to, so I'm hoping that I can whiz through February a little bit. I'm going to try and really, really focus in on reading because I would like to read it down and get to some of the stuff that I was excited to get to at the start of the year. Those are my thoughts on once again having a TBR. Another thing that I thought I would touch on is old things that I used to do. I'm trying to find a nice transition. I sort of just wrote down thoughts in a random pile. But yeah, if you didn't know, my degree was actually in archaeology, classical archaeology and ancient history, if we're being particular about it. And I don't talk about it very often because most of the time it's all gone out of my mind. I don't think I need to talking about too much. I think the only time I brought it up was in this video. I'm sorry, editing Judith, you're going to have to put the thumbnail in. But where I talked about excavating my Kindle, which I thought was a fun video title, and it was a fun video to make actually. We're getting on a bit now, but it was fun to make. Do I think that it was a good degree choice? I think it had a lot of transferable skills, but if you are a person who is currently working out what you want to do at university, if you do want to go to university, don't think about it too hard. Most people I know haven't ended up in the field that they thought they were going to end up in, particularly if it's arts-based, because you never really know where you're going to end up, unless you have a very clear vocation. I was reminiscing about it's not quite a thesis, we didn't do a thesis, we did a museum report, because archaeologists have to be weird, and I wrote on the curse tablets at Bath, and the fun that was, and I was just reminiscing about it and thinking about it's quite a long time ago now. As much as anything is a long time away from anything, time is all relative. A long time ago I was writing that piece of work, and I do kind of miss that long form academic writing, and if I had more time in my life, I would read a lot more non-fiction, but it is not where I am at right now in life. I just don't have the brain for it. The next thing I've written down is Booktube, just to kind of touch on. I should probably sit down so this feels more chilled, but I'm enjoying standing, getting a good stretch of my legs before I go back to my desk. I feel like 2020 was my first full year of doing Booktube, and I felt like the lockdown pandemic stuff really allowed me to put more energy into it than I had been putting before, because I was no longer spending 3 hours on a bus every day. It's been profoundly rewarding. I've really enjoyed it, and it's really taught me what I like to do, and it's the first time as I've mentioned before, but it's the first time I've really enjoyed the process of doing something. As I say, I'm getting a bit disillusioned with this video, but I think that's just because I need to power through. I find it really rewarding. I've met a lot more people, and I think that putting aside my introverted nature and my desire to say, no, I don't want to reach out to other people, and joining a group chat or two and chatting to people and watching other people's content and really enjoying other people's content and learning from it has been really, really good. I've ended 2020 with 5 times the number of subscribers that I started with, and I'm hoping to build on that in 2021. And it's hard because I'm not a person who likes to try and top myself, so I don't want to try and say oh, I did so much better in 2021 than 2022, but it is something that I would like to grow. I would like to have more people see the stuff that I talk about, and I'm hoping there's good things in 2021. I've got nothing planned beyond my current projects, but I feel like there's good stuff, and I'm manifesting good stuff into the world. And I wanted to talk about music because I've flung some of it into this video, and I am still very much enjoying it. I bought my ukulele. I played ukulele when I was 17, but I bought my ukulele that I have now in, I want to say May of last year. I can't remember. I'd have to look back through the vlogs, but at the same time as I bought my rollerblades, which definitely get lots of use. It's alright, it's winter, it's fine. But the ukulele I've really enjoyed. I play guitar as well, but I've never been a very proficient guitar player because I have kind of slightly wonky hands. Picking up the ukulele again and properly trying to learn different chords other than the 5 that I knew before has been really fun. And I think hopefully it's reflective in what I'm making, and partly because I'm not making anything for anything, it doesn't feel as, I don't know, as real. It feels much more like a hobby, which again I actually really enjoy because I really dislike the attitude of you can't have a hobby without having something to show for it. And I think that in this case I have things to show for it, but they are mostly just for me, and today they are for you as well. So I shall show you a few more things and bits and pieces that I have already worked on or am working on, and a bit of work in progress, and hopefully it's fun. But yeah, music's a big thing for me in terms of writing it and playing with it and having fun. Additional point, getting to the 26th, I think. I don't know how far through I am. I've been listening to a lot of music. I'm always a person who has music on constantly. It means that I don't listen to audiobooks because I'm well, I could listen to that or I could listen to this album. I'm not a music, I was about to say snob, it's probably not the right word. I'm not a connoisseur. I'm not I love these 4 bands and I will listen to their entire thing on vinyl and huzzah. No, I'm more I find a song that I love and I play it to death. So at the moment I'm really obsessed with Muna and I Know a Place, which if you haven't listened to it, it's a fantastic song and their acoustic version is phenomenal. So that's what I'm really into at the moment. Yeah, I love music, and I love the way that you can listen to a song at a particular time and then anytime you listen to it, it kind of takes you back. So I make good use of the rewind feature on Spotify. I'm gonna take another break now because I've been talking for about 10 minutes. I'm so sorry, editing me. This is just gonna be a mammoth video. If you are watching this and you are still watching, thank you, I appreciate you. I'm switching angle and also taking my very wet hair down. I don't know what this video is. I think I have 10 more things to do, so let's kick off with another musical interlude, I guess. I'm gonna play a song that has already been on this channel, but one that brings me a lot of joy. Hello, it's me, and I just read your book. I really like the characters, the concept had me hooked, but
Can I ask a question? I hope that you don't mind. I looked throughout your manuscript and nowhere could I find that specific kind of content that makes me feel alive. The kind of thing that bumps a book star rating up to 5. I'm just wondering, where were the gays? Where were the gays? From the prologue to the epilogue, your book was super straight. It just would be sensational to have representational. It really isn't super hard to do. Just include the LGBTQIA+. I don't, no, I'm not feeling it.
Alright, for whatever reason my fingers didn't want to do the end of that song, so I'm going to stop it there because it's my birthday and I can do what I want. You can go listen to that song in its entirety on a different video. I don't know why sometimes my hands are just like, no, I don't want to play the chords in the right order. I'm sorry, no. What else have we got? Sewing in general. I talked about what project I'm doing. I really picked up sewing in 2020. Lockdown allowed me to get to know my sewing machine a little bit better. I think I was just watching a lot of sewing content and I was like, I could do that. I don't know if anyone else has that gene, that I can do that gene. Yeah. I dread the day that I own a house because my I can do that gene is not going to mean good DIY. I can tell you that right now for sure. But yeah, no, I started sewing and I think I've got to the point where I can now make things that I would wear. Like, I don't know if anyone else sews or does any kind of crafty project, but the first things you make tend to be kind of like, this is passable, but I took a lot of shortcuts and I didn't realise that this bit was actually very important. And you end up with stuff that is arguably a bit of a waste of fabric, which is why you should always start with fabric you don't care about. Oh my goodness, imagine starting on like £80 a yard tweed. Like, oh no. I've got to a point where I also think now I know enough about the process that if something goes terribly wrong, I can fix it, or I know that it's not the end of the world if I have to completely unpick. Like, basically, as long as you do the cutting right of pattern pieces and you're following a pattern, then you get where you're trying to go, I guess. So yeah, I'm just following patterns. I haven't really delved into pattern drafting. I've done a little bit of it, but I think it went a little bit wrong because I'm not very good at measuring. But I'd like to delve back into that in 2021, maybe 2022. I'm not going to set myself unachievable goals. I'm enjoying what I'm working on currently, and I think I have a better feel for what I like to do. My next big thing that I want to learn how to do is zips, because I don't know how to do them. And at the moment, everything I'm like, it shall fasten with a button. Nothing else. No other options. So yeah, I'd really like to get to know zips. That's part of my next... When I've done my next dress, I think I'm going to do something with a zip in it. I'm thinking maybe wide leg trousers. I think that could be fun. My next thing on my list I've written is marriage. Yeah, I'm married. I don't actually wear my wedding ring very often anymore because I took it off at one point in lockdown and didn't put it back on again. It doesn't mean I care any less about being married. I just don't wear a lot of jewellery. How long have we been married? We got married in 2017. 18, 20. Yeah, married for 3 years and a little bit. And it's pretty good. I like being married a lot. I did get married very young, if you're doing the maths there, yes. For me personally, currently, no regrets. I enjoy being married very greatly. It's good fun, and I'm enjoying getting to the point now where some friends of ours are getting married too, and that's nice. I like having married friends. Again, it comes down to I'm an old soul. Like, I've always been an old married lady, and now I just am one, and I like that a lot. The next thing on my list to talk about is dogs. I love dogs. You all know this, I hope. If that's never come across in my videos, I'll be very surprised, but I do adore dogs, and I want a dog more than anything else in the world. The only reason that I do not currently have one is, well, it's sort of twofold. We were waiting until we knew one of us would be working from home permanently, which I now am, very exciting, but also we rent, so we can't, without asking nicely, just get a dog. And also, I really want to rescue, and there aren't any rescue dogs that would suit us at the moment, certainly not anywhere where we can feasibly obtain one. I just want to give a small dog my love, but I cannot at the moment give a dog my love, and that's sad. But it is something I really want. I think like by the time I am 30, if I don't have a dog, I shall be very, very bummed out. Theatre is next on my list. I talked a little bit about doing musical theatre a lot when I was at university, and before that I was doing bits and bobs of amateur dramatic stuff. I do miss it. It's one of the things that I really miss, and I think took for granted somewhat when I was younger that there were just opportunities there, because when you are at university, there's like, especially the university I went to, there was like 57,000 plays going on at any time. Any one time, you were pretty guaranteed you could get involved in something. And as an adult, there just aren't those opportunities available. Or if there are, there's a lot of gatekeepers involved. So there's a lot of like people you have to get through to. So when we moved here, I emailed an Amjam company and was like, hey, this is pre-pandemic. Hey, are you doing anything? How do I join? What gives? And they never got back to me. And it's things like that where you're just like, well, then how do you, without knowing someone involved, how do you get involved? And that's kind of the sadness. That's probably one of the sad things about growing up, is that opportunities are fewer and it's harder to get entrance to some things. But yeah, at one point in life, I was thinking about going to drama school. So in hindsight, I'm quite glad that I didn't. I think I don't have thick enough skin for that. But I would love to do some theatre again. I'm hoping that's something that can pick up once the pandemic is over and theatre can happen again. I'm hoping to try and basically badger them with even more emails and be like, please let me join, I need to be alive. This is actually the last of that Ferrero Rocher tea I mentioned earlier, and it is very good, and I'm sort of slightly regretting not buying more of it. Never mind. A bit more about theatre, let's touch on that a bit more. Musicals that I'm very much enjoying at the moment. I was thinking about doing the books that would fit with musicals, whatever it was tag. I'll link Angela's version of it below because she did it, and I was like, I really want to do this, but at the time I was feeling really like meh about everything in the world and I didn't want to sing on camera. Personal growth. But yeah, I'd really like to do that because I love musicals. I love listening to them. So for our honeymoon, actually, we went to London and we just saw a bunch of shows. We stayed in like the tiniest hotel in the universe and we saw as many shows as we could, including Katie had never seen Wicked, she'd never seen Matilda, so we did some of those. We went to the Globe. I'm appreciating that that's not a musical. It's probably the most recent thing I saw in theatre was probably Hadestown, which is phenomenal. If you get the opportunity to go and see Hadestown, I would highly recommend it. But I think there's been so much more opportunity to watch theatre because a lot of places put stuff online. Do you enjoy any musicals? Put your musicals that you enjoy in the comments below. I would like to know what they are. The other book tag that I never did that I'd quite like to do, I'm sure it exists, I haven't actually seen anyone do it, but books that would make good video games, because I think that would be a cool thing to do. I have played through technically 3, but it's really sort of 2 video games in full in my adult life, and they are Horizon Zero Dawn, which I've played multiple times and I think is absolutely fantastic. If you play no other video game in your entire life, Horizon Zero Dawn, especially if you're a sci-fi fantasy reader, like the sci-fi element, the story, it's so good. And the other one is Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, which we played at the start of this year. Both of them very good games. I like any game that lets you take a stealth option. Oh, I'm lying to you. I've also played Assassin's Creed Syndicate? Whichever one is in London. That one. So yeah, I like any game that lets you be kind of like sneaky and basically build up your stats to the point where you can beat anyone up. That's my jam. I like not too difficult games. But yeah, I think it would be fun to do books that would make good video games. All the books I like are quite emotional, and I don't really know if everything would just end up being a dating sim. Who knows? Let's bring it back to birthday things, because I can. Do I want a birthday cake? Yes. Am I maybe going to buy myself a birthday cake? I might buy some cupcakes or something. I think that would be nice. Do some of the online delivery brownies, maybe? I like snacks. That's my next thought. I like snacks. I bulk bought dried raspberries, which I discovered this pandemic, and they have become my favourite snack ever. So if you ever want to send me a gift, send me dried raspberries. I very much enjoy them and would eat them until my teeth totally fell out. I'm going to play one last thing for you, and this is very much a current work in progress. So I think it was during the pandemic. It would have been early last year. I think I got Disney Plus and I was watching a bunch of Disney films and I was like, gosh, I wish some of these were more gay. And I am directly talking about Frozen 2. And I was trying to think like, what would the gay Disney princess movie of my dreams be? And I started working on something that I'm calling Foolish, because I think it would fit with their other stuff like Tangled and stuff. Foolish, where you have a princess who is also like a cartographer, and the fool, who was going to be called Jess, because it's like Jester. Yeah, you see, it's great. And they have to go off on an adventure, and that's about as far as I got with the plot. And obviously they would fall in love along the way, because I'm that person. So I started working on the song that would come at the point in the show, or the script, or what's the word I'm looking for? Film, where they've had a big argument and they've split off and now they're thinking about each other and realising that they are in fact deeply in love. And all I have is the first 2 verses and a bit of a bridge that I'm not going to sing for you because I can't remember the chords well enough. So I'm going to try and sing this for you, but my fingers may not cooperate. So if we're ending this on a low note, I don't know what to do, but you know, enjoy.
She is a tale I can't seem to forget. She is a song that gets stuck in my head. I hear her melody bright and
something like that. Alright, that is 25 things, so I shall end on a final thought that is not going to be, oh, why did I make this video? I'm so sorry, editing me. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, and I can only apologise. And if you watched it all the way through, thank you for indulging me. It's my birthday. I think that's going to be the title of this video. Indulge me, it's my birthday. I really hope this was 26 things as well, because else I'm going to be editing one in. Thank you so much for watching. This is basically what I do with myself on a Saturday, is amble about having thoughts and occasionally trying to get some work done. So I need to go and subtitle the vlog that's going up tomorrow for me, not for you. My final thought I will leave you with is that I hope that this year will be good. And I don't think you can hope for anything more. I hope that turning 27 is an interesting endeavour and that I have 27 new things to tell you about, or things to develop, or something. And thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for being with me for another year, or if you're brand new here, welcome. I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day whenever you're watching this, and if you haven't already, subscribe because it's my birthday, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, what was that as a conclusion? I don't know. What was this?